Okay, here we are, girly girl.
Oh, we're here?
Yeah, we're here.
Live?
We
I
live.
love it.
We live.
Hello.
We live in this thing. Can't say any curses.
No curses.
No curses.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
no. Okay. No.
All right, let me
No,
sit
so
up
what
so
I
I can pay attention.
stop.
No,
No, we can curse later, a little bit later. This is what I hear on YouTube. It's like you can't curse in the first like minute or so.
Okay. What is it? Just turn some people away?
I think it's something with the algorithm, or I don't know. They keep using this word. I say they, like all the podcasts that I listen to, demonetizing. They're like, oh, we're gonna get demonetized.
If you're cursing.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Me neither.
I
Okay.
have no idea.
Me neither. But all I know is like, okay, that sounds like I need to not curse in the first like minute or so. I try not to curse. Just I don't know. I don't even know why.
Right. It's like you're on the journey, right? It's like, how do you do a podcast? I don't know. This is what these people are saying. This is what these people are saying. I'm just going to try it out, see what happens,
And I don't have like an editor that like can bleep things out because I'm the editor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
We don't have a huge production team.
Period. It's fine. She gets it.
I do. I understand.
She gets it. Today, my guest is Rae Simone.
Hello.
Yes. Singer, songwriter, beautiful woman inside and out, even though we've never met, really.
Literally. On the streets. On the streets.
No, I was invited to go watch live music a few weeks ago now, and Rae was the singer, and she was amazing. And you have so many people that go up to you, I'm sure, after shows and say things. And do you remember like what people say?
Yeah, I really do remember the more like obscure things that people say.
Yeah.
Less so like, this is a good thing.
Right. Do you remember what I said?
No. I remember you asked me if I had faith.
No, that was my friend Noelle.
That wasn't you.
That wasn't me.
Oh my god, I thought that was you.
So that's funny that you thought that.
I really thought that was you.
That's really, really funny. I mean, we do kind of look like she's actually on the fridge up there.
I'm sitting here thinking.
Do you think I'm Noelle this whole time? No, I'm just kidding. It's okay if you did.
I'm sorry, we've never met.
We literally have never met. No, I'm 0% offended. Okay. And I was like, should I even tell her what I said? Because it's kind of embarrassing, but it's kind of funny.
No, you should tell me what you said.
Okay. I said, they said, when I die, I want to be reincarnated as you.
I don't remember that.
And you went, oh, I don't think you'd be able to handle this anxiety. And then I was like, I know, I heard through your music. I know.
Oh, okay, no, I remember that. No, yeah, you were like, oh, it's okay. Yeah.
It was like, I don't know why that just came to me. It's like, I don't even know if I believe in reincarnation, but it was just like one of those things where I was just like, she is amazing. And I just, not like I want to be you, but I'm like you.
I get that.
So funny.
I think one of the weirdest things is someone came up to me and said after a show, it had nothing to do with the show itself, but the fact that I was wearing an oversized shirt. The guy goes, I think you're wearing an oversized shirt because you're ashamed of your small boobs.
Oh.
It's like, I could not help but burst out and laugh at that man.
Laugh. You laughed. God bless.
Yeah.
God bless.
I'm like, where did that even come from?
That's.
But thank you.
No, that's kind of horrid.
I feel like just people are a reflection of their own.
Bro, yeah, that's freaking weird.
Whatever, man.
So, well, I wanted to ask you, I was going to ask you before we started recording, but it doesn't really matter. Do you want to talk about music? Like, do you want to talk about your career or do you not? Because I noticed, like, one of my good friends is a business owner, and I had her on. And she didn't want to talk about the business. She's like, I feel like I talk about it all the time. I feel like, she's been on like radios and da-da-da. She's like, I want to talk about like some real like shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know we'll talk about real stuff because that's kind of, I know that's what you want to do and I do too. But I was like, maybe music is different because it's more of like a very like personal, like.
Yeah. And it kind of all just like bleeds into all the other stuff, and this is more now, a personal journey for me than it is just like, oh, no, I'm doing music. It's rather, it's like
Yes.
the identity
part of
that
you.
chose me. I don't know.
Whoa.
So
I like
yeah, I mean,
that.
I like to talk about it. The business side of it is what it is, but like
Sure.
what I'm doing it for is the profound, like, fun part, I
Yes.
guess.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was reading your, is it a bio on Spotify?
It's
Kinda like,
yeah, something like that.
something
Something
like
to
that.
fill the character spaces.
No, I love it. I thought it was really cool. And it says that you're a genreless. Well, you consider yourself a genreless soul.
Yeah, funny, and that was written before I even had music out.
Oh,
Too,
really?
you know,
That's
it
cool.
just yeah. There's just no way that I could sit here and just say like, oh, I sing this, because even when I make music that I haven't put out, it doesn't sound like anything.
Yes. I love that. Because you like a lot of different, you have a lot of different inspirations of music. Whitney Houston, John Legend, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Eminem, Kanye.
Yeah, I think
love
about them a lot,
Kanye,
and I don't
bro.
know how they're gonna come out in my artistry, but I just love,
Yeah,
I
but
love
like,
both of them.
like Kanye is like just a profound
He
human
is,
in
I don't know.
himself.
I
Like
just
it's not
think
like
he's a messenger. Seriously.
exactly, and that's where I think that's where it connects. Like you don't have to rap to
Right.
have Kanye West as your inspiration. So that's really cool. And I was reading this one part, and it says, this is on Spotify, and if you guys want to check her out, it's Rae Simone, Rae Simone, right? Simone, Simone. And it says that Rae's journey in music thus far has been a source of peace and calm, finding and owning your unique sound, which it is very, very unique, very unique. Your single All I've Got is about self-love and knowing when to stop the fight for something that's no longer serving you. And I really, really, really resonated with that because the podcast is called Settle Down for What? And like, I think it could just like, I'm at the point where it's like, it means whatever people want it to mean. I don't really, I have a hard time fitting myself in a box. So every time people are like, what is it about? Or what, like, I kind of get weird because I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Right.
Like, it's just is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But originally it was kind of like, yeah, about the idea of settling. And I think I thought about settling in such a negative way at that time when I like started the podcast. I was like, nobody should ever have to settle like for anything. And like, I do still strongly believe that. Like, I think that we should fight for things that we want. But then I also think that there's a time where you have to know when to stop fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's so important to the journey of like settling and self-love and
Right.
discernment and knowing what's good for you. And something that was good for you a year ago might not be good for you now. And like, it's okay to change, and it's okay to change your mind. And yeah, like it's like that just like brought me to that whole thought, and then this podcast, and then just like having you on, and I was like, that is really, really cool because yeah, I think for a time I was like, no, like never stop fighting for, you know, and it's like, but sometimes you just you have to.
Yeah, and I feel that too. Just when, I mean, the name of your podcast, I felt like it all kind of connected because, I mean, the part of this journey for me was that, you know, I was running the rat race. I graduated and I was doing consulting in the city, and I was like completely, it wasn't my space, but I tried so fucking hard in that space to like deliver and be proud of what I was doing, and I never ever felt that kind of like validation or whatever. So I'm like, yo, like I'm working hard. Now I'm working. I'm overworking. I'm stressed, and like I'm taking on all of these things just to prove what.
Right.
So like I have this mentality of not settling down, but what am I putting my energy towards, and is it really serving me? So, you know, it's that it's I never really was paying attention to the way that I felt until it just became something that was actually like impeding daily life, you know, and you don't want to sit here and believe that something invisible can impact what's going on in the real world, you know, because people can't see it, can't explain it. It's just the same thing as like, I don't know what's not to settle down is, but literally don't just sit here and do nothing.
Right.
Like, you know, like, don't just sit here and accept how you feel. I mean, accept how you feel, but like, all right, you can
Yes.
change it. And I think the biggest thing about that is being able to change. And and what stresses me and the fight that I see, I guess, through other people is the like acceptance of like, nah, this is just how I am. Nah,
Yes.
this is just
Yes.
what it is. And I'm like,
bro, yes.
that kills me inside. And I think I have like I have I have such an anger that I need to, which really is a sadness for just humanity that doesn't see how, I mean, it isn't easy to change, but the suffering to sit in that comfort of not is just as difficult.
100%.
But there's so much more, like, it's just so much more rewarding when you just take control of that.
Yes.
So,
yes,
I just feel you.
I love that. I feel like for so long in my life, I didn't know that I could take the reins, you know? Like, and I want to say this, but I don't want it to come off wrong because I don't know where you're at in your spiritual journey. I know my friend did ask you if you had a faith. She shared that with me. And so I don't want to like, not that
I'm like not an offended person. I'm
okay.
Not gonna
awesome.
be offended.
My kind of gal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I grew up very like pretty strict Christian, and I think I don't know. I think just because the way I am, like I'm like so extreme that it was like okay, like I don't know. It's just like if God isn't gonna do it, like you can't. Kind of thing.
Okay. I understand.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So I think I took that so literally that it was like I never took the steps to do things that I wanted or do things that I thought would be good for me or whatever because I'm like, well, God's not making it happen, so I shouldn't do it or something. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took me like a really long time and like into my 20s to realize like, oh, like I have to sometimes I have to be the first one to take a step.
Right.
But God could also be doing things behind the scenes that I don't even realize he's doing to get me to that point of taking the step. You know what I mean?
It is absolutely, yes, I absolutely understand what you're saying. And I think that comes from too, just like, you know, the way that God, I grew up Southern Baptist traditional in Arkansas. And so I'm getting the whole, and it wasn't crazy strict in my family. Like my grandmother, I grew up with my grandmother and my mom. We were in Arkansas. Wow. My mom was the black sheep. She was like, "Fuck that," and it's past a minute. Right?
Yeah, we're good.
That's that. I did it. Oh my god. Okay. She was like, "F that. Not going to church." You know, they made her go from the time she was 1 to the time she was 18, and after she got the choice, she was like, "I'm out."
Okay.
And then I was living down there, so me and my grandma would go on Sundays, and it was casual. You know, I like the spirit of being in church. I liked going to church.
Yeah, and Southern Baptist is fun.
Yeah,
right?
you
That's
know,
fun kind of...
it's the music. It's because because down there, you know, in the black community, church is the community type thing. So there's always stuff going on,
and like very like spirit led, right? Like very cool.
Yeah. But lost my train of thought.
We were like just talking about how like it was so like, well, God is not doing this. Then,
and I think I noticed so many contradictions early on of just like just being black and worshiping this white man. And then my mom, of course, she's somebody who's always outspoken. So I've always had her kind of like in my ear thinking, and I've always been just like putting pieces together. I've never really I didn't at first accept that there was a God. I never really understood the whole like, how are we worshiping this? But then we're also upset at white people for this, like all of these questions. Until it's just it was a personal journey that I discovered, you know, I mean maybe like 3-ish years ago, and I'm just trying to like hone in on my faith and the fact that okay, you are nameless. I don't know what to identify you as. However, I do know that when the dots don't connect, that there is something out there that I can reach out to calm my nerves. Definitely. And it's literally when there's nothing else. Yeah. And it's just an unexplainable and undescribable feeling.
Definitely. So, like, would you say you pray or like?
It's me. I talk to God on the way here. I'm like, oh, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that.
Everything is connected, and I truly believe that. And I've always thought You know, I've always been told like, oh, you think too deep or you're sentimental, la 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 la. And I'm like, yo, it is that deep, yo. It is literally that deep. And it's like, these are the things that just come to me off GP. Like, I don't ask to see this shit. Do I think I want to know that you're sad, but you're sitting here lying to me right now? I don't want to know. Wow. But God, like, this is my vision.
That's really cool. Okay, you remind me of my friend Linda. I don't know if you watched that episode, me and like a blonde girl. She is just like very deep, and I am too. But I do find myself fighting kind of a little bit because I'm like, sometimes I just don't want things to be so deep. I'm like, I just want to fucking enjoy something, right? But I agree, like most things are that deep, and like not a lot of people think like that though.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who ignore that. Mm-hmm. And yeah,
but it is overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
I mean? It's like you think of like, oh, okay, because I said this today, that means that I have this inherent idea that I'm a terrible person, and then I need to go back and like there's just
yes,
this continuous like what is it? What am I talking about? The slippery slope.
Yes.
You know, people are afraid to think. People are afraid to confront the everyday fears that they see, but. I don't know.
No, yeah. And like that goes back to where it's like hard to change. Like you were saying, it's hard to change.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to change. Like there's something I think within all of us that like is so resistant to change for some reason. It's like, no, just stay the same. Stay the same.
It's so
stay
strange,
the same. And then but it's like, no. Like change is so healing.
Yeah.
Not even for like us, but I do believe it does heal the future generations.
Truly.
I really do believe that.
I mean, if you start love right now, that's all that they'll know. If you start living with love right now through kindness, generosity, compassion, empathy, all of those things. That's what they grow up with. That's what they see.
I totally believe that. Do you want kids?
I do. Yeah. I do want kids.
Yeah.
I just, I can wait 10 or so-ish years.
How old are you? Do you mind?
27.
27? Okay. Okay. I'm 32. Well, I'll be 33 tomorrow, actually.
Yay. I did see you had a birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah. I was trying to I was stalking you, which I'm sure you probably stalked me, or I don't know if you did, but I was like, how old is she? I'm just looking at you. And I'm so observant of people. My boyfriend's really young. Mm-hmm. So, a couple years younger than you.
Okay.
So, I'm just always so interested in people's ages and women and just and I'm just and I asked him how old do you think she is? We're just talking about it.
Same thing.
Man. And I'm just looking at you and I'm I feel like you could be 22 because you look young, but I'm no.
I feel 986. Help me.
You're I am done.
I'm so old in this young ass body, bro. I do not relate.
But that's why I knew you were not that young, because I'm that girl's soul is. She's you just have this, I don't know, just maturity and understanding of life and self. And I was she also could be late 20s, maybe 30, and it has nothing to do with any look. I was just literally trying to figure it out. So okay, 27. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been living in upstate New York then for how long?
2 years now. Back again. Okay. No. From Arkansas.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I grew up there, so I lived there.
Grew up in Arkansas. No,
I grew up in Arkansas until I was 10. And then I moved up here.
Gotcha.
And then I went away for school and stuff like that.
So you guys moved to upstate New York?
Mm-hmm. Wow. My mom lived there. So it was just the timeline of things where I was being raised where her parents were born. Well, her mother was born. Wow. But she was raised in New York. They were living in New York and stuff. She was born in Brooklyn.
And now Arkansas, I don't want to sound ignorant. I am white. So Arkansas is there's a black community there?
Yes. Well, we lived in Fort Smith. So that was the blue dot in the sea of red, and that's all I really knew about Arkansas growing up. But my grandmother had me around, all sorts of black community.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
So was racism a thing that you dealt with growing up there? Honestly, do you not remember, or do you?
No, I didn't remember as much. I got all the stories from my grandmother and her siblings, when they would travel across state lines and things like that. Mom would tell me stories and things like that. You get comments, but it wasn't anything that was
Yeah.
hard ER loaded, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I would say that I'm blessed, you know, because
Yeah, wow.
gotta make sure that I'm not on mute. Because my family in the South, I got to see my grandmother. They all went to college. My grandmother and her siblings, they were running a newspaper, a local newspaper.
Hmm.
The high school that they went to, their communities, they were all together still. They would see each other every two
Oh, wow.
years. The church would see each other every 2 years. Whatever organization she was a part of, Phyllis Wheatley, Delta Sigma Theta, I saw so many different, I guess you call it black excellence, like ideas of
Yeah,
black
yeah,
excellence
yeah.
growing up.
That's really, yeah, that's a blessing, bro.
So yeah, when I'd start to get the ideas of like act, the other side of things,
Yeah.
it wasn't until I came up here, which is crazy.
Damn.
But I mean, I went back recently and it was still a little sus down there.
Now that you're older, you're like, okay.
Oh yeah, it's a little sus. But I can't say that really racism was something that was very
Wow.
prevalent. We were. I don't know. That's just what
Wow.
I saw growing up.
Well, that's amazing. And then you felt like more in upstate New York.
Yeah, honestly, more so when I went to college.
Where'd you go to college
I went
again?
to college in Syracuse. And I'm not saying Syracuse is racist.
Whatever, right.
It's the whole, it's a whatever, college campuses and things like that. But
Oh,
that's when
damn.
it was really the most, especially like Trayvon Martin was 2015 or 2014. So I was a senior in high school, college. And so every police shooting circle loop thing
Yeah.
from then to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, I had gone through that cycle and I was in the black community, which is a different black community than I was used to.
Yeah.
It's the pop culture, it's mainstream,
Yeah.
and I'm like, whoa, this is different.
Wow.
This is different and very passionate, very angry.
Yes.
And it was a lot for me to like, because I wanted to be a part, but it was a lot for me to just like absorb
and like
in that space.
Be that when you're like, but I don't feel
right.
Like you were probably maybe, well, I don't know. Were you as angry maybe?
Honestly, like I didn't have a problem with white people until I left Syracuse.
Damn.
I came back home and I'm like, y'all fucked up everything.
Which is
which
it's like sucks, but then maybe it's also like
no,
kind
that
of
definitely
right. Also?
I had because I think I feel like I work in extremes sometimes. If I believe one
Same,
thing
bro.
and I'm like, I don't. All right, well, I need to just get rid of this and think about the other thing.
Yeah.
So. I had that and I'm like, wait, no, like I like white people. I'm half white. I have white friends.
Oh, you're half white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with the white side of my family. Not that I have to justify that.
But right.
that's how it felt in the black community. I'm like, yeah, no, very black, but half white. But don't I? But
I didn't.
But I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not explaining. I'm black. If you don't believe me, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I didn't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so your dad was white.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your dad still in your life?
Polish and German. He you didn't ask that question. That was just loaded in my brain for some reason. But
no, that's
yeah,
fine.
He I just met him when I was like 22.
No way.
23. Yeah, I mean he was always in contact with my mom.
So they never like stayed together or
no,
just
they
like,
just separate ways, and then she just raised me with my grandma and grandparents. And
is he like cool or not?
Yeah, I mean he's cool, dude.
Whatever.
I can see her mannerisms. It's it's weird. I'm like,
yo,
like I don't even literally know you.
That's so weird.
But I could,
Oh my gosh,
senses of humor are kind of similar.
That's funny. Yeah, because like as I get older, I'm like, I will move weird and be like, oh, I just felt like my mom. I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt like my mom. Like I feel like I turned into her, like I morphed into her for like a half a second. But that must be even more weird when you like, you never like really was around the person.
Yeah.
But that's that innate freaking oof.
The genetics, I don't even know. It's just weird. It's just
hell.
weird.
Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah. All right, thanks for sharing about that because I don't know. It's like not that it's interesting being white, but it's just like sometimes I don't know what's okay to say or like what's okay to ask or like. But you said you wouldn't be offended by stuff, so yeah. I was just like curious of how that was in Arkansas, and then coming here. Okay, and then you were in college in Syracuse. My sister lived there for a few years actually. And then you graduated from Syracuse.
Mhm.
And then you moved back home.
Yeah, I moved back home for a very short second. Me and my mom were not on a good point,
Really?
and I just needed to get the f- out of there. So yeah, I moved to the Bronx for a couple
Felt
years.
that so much. Felt that so
You know,
much.
these strong women.
Oh,
you know?
these strong.
These strong women. We can't be bred of the meek.
No, seriously. Oh my
So-
gosh. I swear on my life. I mean, I don't think my family would ever watch my podcast, but and I'm sorry if you're listening, but like I would rather this is so mean. Oh gosh, this is so mean. I think I'd rather live in my car than like live at home with my parents. Oh man,
I
that's so
understand.
bad. It's just
I
one of those things. I
understand it.
love them.
Yeah,
I
you can love
do.
people from a distance.
It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like you grow up with someone your whole life, you see so much, you know so much, you have been through so much together, and now you're both adults, and that's weird. And then like that dynamic is just weird, and it's just
Like, I don't know. There's just like, for me at least, there's like hella resentment at the fact that like, no, you stopped cooking for me at 14. I don't want to fucking, you know, like I have so many like. To me, it seems I'm making it seem like it's a trivial thing from childhood, and now I have to at the same time like be an adult and like
Yeah.
deal adult wise with this person who I could just literally yell at or ignore, you know, like
Yes.
just give all of my worst human to.
100%.
And now I have to, you right, and now you really actually do have to humanize them, and along with that comes all of these responsibilities, and
Yeah.
accountability, and communicating, even though that they weren't able to do it, and understanding that they loved you in the way that they could.
Right, they did the best they could with the best that they knew, and da da da. And it's like okay, and it's like even if we know that, it
Mhm.
still doesn't mean that like I want to spend all my time with you again.
True.
You know what I
This
mean?
is
So
very
that's
true.
where it's like
This
I
is-
have finally come to a point where I'm like, listen, I do believe they did the best that they thought they could
Mhm.
have, but that still all shaped who I am today. You know what I mean?
That's
So
what I'm
it's
saying.
like
It's hard. It's very, very hard. And to do it while you're in their house is even more difficult.
100%.
Oh my goodness. Me and my mom have
Yes.
really been, we've been trying, man. We've been like
Oof.
trying to make,
Oh,
like,
I know.
trying
I
to
feel
make
like
it work.
I really feel the same exact way. Were you close with your mom?
So I was her shadow.
So
Yeah,
same.
like I was her shadow,
Same.
and anything that she had to do, I was there right next to her.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was hard because when I was in college and I was like having independent thoughts, and
Yes.
I'm like, knowing how my mom would reply to them, or knowing,
Oh my gosh,
like,
we're the same.
yeah,
We're the same.
it's just like she's in my head.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
oh my god, my mom's
She's
gonna
in
hate
your
me.
head, right?
Yeah.
This is what I say to
Like,
my friends
literally.
all the time. Like she just I swear she pops up in there somewhere.
Dude,
Like she arrives in my body
dude.
and says something to me. Like I can't explain it. It's so deep. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember today. Literally, I was like, I teared up on the train because I thought of something about my mom. I was just like, yo, you just won't go away. Like, just go away.
I know.
But it wasn't even anything bad,
But
she
it's
she
just
reached out. She was like, hey, can you show me or something? I was like,
Ugh.
every corner of my life that I try to establish, like, you just somehow find your way there. Like, how are you there? You know what I mean? And it's all love, Mom. I know you're not gonna watch this, but it's all love. But like, yo,
Yeah.
I don't know, and especially like being an only child and being her
You're
shadow.
an only
and then-
child? Oh my gosh. I didn't know you
Yeah.
were only child.
yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
And being her shadow.
Because she probably doesn't want to let go of you, right? Or
she
like
won't say that, but she
Well, no, of
likes
course she's
me
not gonna
around. She likes me. She likes me. She
Yeah.
won't say it. She likes me. She'll tell everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. It's hard to let go. There is this codependency between the two of us. Well, there
Oh,
was.
that's hard. Yeah, it seems like
Um,
you're like free of it
Yeah,
now.
I've just had to like jump off the bridge to
Yeah.
freedom. Like, I'm sorry,
No,
I'll be
literally-
back. I'm not going anywhere, but they'll be back.
Like I'm here, but like
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
I'm back here. Yeah, like girl, I am so with you. It's so crazy, and it's really tough. I'm sure it's tough as a only child. It's also tough as like not an only child
believe
because
it.
I have
Yeah.
like I have a sister who totally gets it.
Mhm.
And then I have brothers who don't get it.
Do they treat the brothers differently?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? Mom's the greatest.
Oh my gosh. And again, like if they ever watch this, they would probably be so upset. Like, no, we don't. What do you mean? You know, and it's fine. It's whatever. It is what it is. This is just like my
You're allowed to have observations.
yeah, this is how I perceive it
Yes.
all. And yeah, so I just have yeah, it seems like the daughters, you know, me and my sister, like it's there's just a struggle there with my mom, like the
Mhm.
relationship. But then her and my brothers are like fine. Like they're so good. And so yeah, it's hard because I'll try to explain things to my brothers and they'll be like, I don't know, I don't really get what you like mean. It's been fine with me and her and I'm like, yeah, maybe it's like a girl thing or
I don't think
something. A
well,
daughter
we're like
thing or
copies of them in some way, right?
exactly.
So I feel like the things that I feel, you have to feel them. You just like don't deal with them.
That's so it.
You know what I
That's
mean?
so it.
The weirdest thing happened between my mother and I the other day. I played a song on Alexa. My grandfather's passed away, right? That she lost her father. Played this song, and I just heard her stop. And I looked like behind the door. She looked at me. She just started welling up, and I started crying. But like I was, you know what? I was happy.
Yeah.
She just started welling up, and like I was like, what is happening to me right now?
Mm.
So like I don't know, it was the strangest that was the strangest, most connected, weird fucking moment in my
Whoa.
life, I feel like to date. Because
Wow.
I was fine and I just
And
wanted
then
to
you
hear that
weren't
song. And then
when
she was like and I was like
oh wow. So that's yeah. Dude, that's so real. And my sister explains the same things. I personally don't feel like I don't know if it's that I don't allow myself to go there or if it's just I don't have that kind of like deep connection, but I know my sister, she'll be like when mom's not okay, like I'm not okay.
yeah.
But they live on opposite ends of the country. Like my sister's in Las Vegas and my parents are here.
Is this like an intuitive knowing she feels?
Intuitive. And it's just like yeah, like when she's not okay, like I'm not okay either. And I'm like, whoa, like
Yeah,
see,
people are
like
crying.
well, and that's like that's the deepness that scares me, and that's the deepness like that I was talking about before. Where I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, I gotta just stay here because I don't know if I can handle
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah.
I really don't know if I could, and I don't know if the people in my life could. It would just be a lot.
Yeah.
My friend Linda, who I mentioned before, like similar, very intuitive, very deep, like, but like because I do find myself to be a deep person, but like just another
It's
level.
scary. Yeah.
They're like on another level, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go there. It just seems too scary.
Who's the voice or what's the voice that's saying you're not allowed to feel that?
Oh gosh. Oh, come on. Why do you gotta ask me that?
Sure.
See?
I already welled up a little bit.
Oh my
Like,
god.
when it pop, like there's something that pops up in your mind that's like, no, if I do that, then I may. You don't have to answer. You can
No,
share
I
that.
don't mind answering. I'm just trying to figure out like what I don't know if I know fully. I think what I'm thinking about right now is just like I already feel like feelings are just overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like I just feel like it'll be so overwhelming. Like, am I gonna know what to do with myself? Like,
If you cry,
yeah, I feel like I would just lose it. Like, and I like when I sometimes like I'll cry like and I'll cry like cry so hard.
mm-hmm.
Like every once in a blue moon, I'll just cry so hard. So I'm afraid if I like on a daily basis let more emotions, it's like, am I just gonna be like hysterically crying every day?
Maybe, but let it
Right,
pass.
right.
Let it pass. It's same. I tell you something. I did not acknowledge an emotion until I don't know 20. I couldn't even tell you when. But
Wow.
I stuffed everything
Yeah.
inside. You know, that's the
Yeah.
way I was supposed to do it. You know, I was always just like
Yes.
the guy.
Mm.
Eventually, I just gave myself permission to be sad,
Yeah.
be in my bag, be the guy that's always like,
Just like a wreck. Yeah.
You know, I don't have to be around people all the time. And you know what? If I am
Yeah.
sad and I let my friends know or whomever, like this just shows me, it gives me all the clarity of who's around, who's on the page, who's on my same page. You know, just being more vulnerable, being able to feel that, you know, the people who are there that connect and relate to that are the people that I want to be around. And it's
Mm,
scary. Really, 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 really,
mm,
really, really, really scary just
mm.
talking about, you know, all of it, you know, just being, I mean, that's why I want to do the podcast. You know, I just
Yes.
want to be comfortable, like saying all the human stuff
Yes.
because it's a part of humanity that we just do not
A
acknowledge.
hundred
Emotions
percent.
literally drive the decisions. The brain just drives all of the what?
Yep.
That is
I
that's
know.
the
I
thing.
know.
That's
And
the
we
thing.
all just go throughout life and just go through the motions and like no, I totally agree. I it needs
Yeah.
like comfort more conversation
Yeah,
around
but
feelings.
allow yourself to feel. That's like on the train today. I just put my sunglasses on. It was like, Mom, go away. Oh, just go away. And then I started reading this book, and it has me tearing up. And I'm like, okay,
I know
I'm
I saw your
due.
story. I was like, is
I'm
she on the
due.
train? I was like trying to like
Yeah.
I think she's on the train. Oh my
I'm
gosh,
like,
dude. Yo. It you want to know something? It's probably even deeper. That's why I don't really like reading. I don't really like watching movies
girl,
because
I get it, because you know it. You already know what's out there.
I'm like I feel things
Shit.
so intensely that I'm like I like cry watching like The Office. Like I'm like so connected to these stories of these people and it's like supposed to be something funny and then I'm just finding like the
Right.
deeper meaning through it all.
Right.
And I'm like this is exhausting. Like I just want to watch something and just be like that was good. Like
No. Nope. No. No. This
but
is an important skill. This is an important
yeah.
skill.
No, for real. And like you were saying with like the people in your life and I was just sitting here thinking like actually all of my friends I feel like would be so supportive if I like whatever.
Just
Like
wait
if
for
I
the
was just through
phase.
in this season of just like crying every day or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like I've walked through that with a friend very closely. So like I know what that's like on the other end of it.
Yeah.
Um but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Some things that helped me through it too. I don't know if you're into like astrology,
I want to like know more
stars.
about it. I had a go-to like astrology girl that like she's a friend of mine,
Hmm.
but she just recently like devoted her life to like Christ. And she's like I still like I still follow astrology, but like I probably like can't be your go-to girl anymore. I'm like, respect, like I gotta find another
Right.
girl.
Finding your path, do your thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's been like a personal thing for me just to like, I don't understand the different aspects of your personality and the way that
Right.
like, everything is kind of connected because everything is connected.
Everything
You
is
know, it is
connected.
insane.
No, yeah,
It is
it's
so insane. But what gives me clarity is like understanding, like, all right, well, there's this energy that's happening, and this what may be affecting you because of blah 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 blah. But
but like stupid question maybe. Like how does energy work? Like it's just a thing? Like it's just a like does it actually mean energy? Like does it
no,
have weight to it? Like does it
I
I
don't
don't know what
think
I'm trying to
so.
say.
No,
Like
I trust. I understand. I just don't
is it a
know.
tangible thing or is it like more of a spiritual thing?
Energy is real. The energy, that's something like energy can't be created or destroyed. I don't know where it came from. I don't know. Take a science class, but I know that things have energy and
Yeah.
things you can feel that energy, and that's the only reason why I'm like, well,
Yeah.
obviously this is a thing,
Makes sense,
and
right?
and then also the connectedness thing, the stars, the planets,
Yeah.
stardust literally falls. Like I just, there's
Does
nothing.
it
There's
falls?
literally nothing to
I don't think I
prove.
knew that.
It's just to
No,
like
I
believe.
agree.
But
No, I agree.
yeah, it does. It falls to Earth,
That's so
and
cute.
fucking just
What the
here we
heck?
are, just stardust, literally stardust, and
Interesting. So like okay, so you grew up in the church but it wasn't super like you said super strict. So was your family like liberal on like beliefs like that? Or were they like if you were like talking about astrology, would they be like, "No, that's the devil?" Or like would it be
no,
like,
I
"Fine."
would never be like. Yeah, it was never like that.
Okay.
Um, my grandmother had her place for God. Didn't really know what that was. She's very quiet, you know.
To herself. Okay. Respect, Grammy.
She kept her opinions a lot to herself,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they never really made it. We pray at dinner.
Okay.
you
See, I
know.
like that.
It wasn't, like,
It wasn't like you
yeah.
have to believe this or else.
Right. And then, of course, my mother. And I think maybe my mom did a lot of the work before I got here.
No, it sounds like it because you said she was out of. She was like, I'm out.
Yeah, she is the.
I love
The
that.
radical of the group, which I really do appreciate.
Yeah, because you definitely got that from her.
It could. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what life would have been like.
Yeah.
So there's blessings and a curse.
That's really cool. I like. There's a part of me that like. I'm always afraid to hurt feelings. I'm like, who cares? Like, not who cares, but like, there's a part of me that like wishes my mom like changed, some trajectory of like, I don't know, like, because I know how she was raised, and then I feel like she just did the same exact thing, and I feel like,
yeah.
But maybe in her perspective, she feels like she did do it differently and did it right or whatever. I don't know, but I'm like, oh, like, yeah, like I wish she would have just done something so different or just like took that like risk and like did that thing, or even like, I don't know, like, I hate to say it, but like even like divorced my dad, like, God bless them, but they have their struggles, and it's like, what if she did just take that jump and divorce her, and like maybe her life, I don't know.
It's true though, and there's this thing about the music that has just shown me these leaps. Taking leaps, it's always easier when you have like a community of people around you, and as somebody who's just withdrawn and dissociated and social anxiety out the ass, I'm just so like grateful for the group of people that are around me at this moment in time, because there would be no way I'd be where I'm at right now if there was nobody, like if it was just me.
Yeah.
And then I go and reflect on like other artists and stuff. They were like, oh, I got this shit on my own. I ain't need no help. I'm like, that is bullshit.
Right.
That is bullshit. There's no way. Even if you went to the bank and tried to get a loan, someone is on the other side of that bank check, signing that check.
Doing it.
It wasn't you. It wasn't just you.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh, that just brought up so many different thoughts. I'm like, what do I want to say next? I was watching a podcast recently. Do you watch podcasts?
Not as much as I should.
Okay.
Very
No, who cares?
right
Whatever.
now.
That's quite all right. Do you know Rae Simone?
Yeah. She like was a thing, and then she became another thing.
Yeah.
And now she's like a better thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
Sorry, Rae Simone.
That's really. I think that's a pretty great description.
So, go ahead, sis.
She was like, interviewing like an artist recently, a musician, and the musician was, she was like, I don't really trust nobody. I want to do this thing on my own, but she's like, she like is not really getting anywhere. So then there's a part of me that's like, is that why? Because she's not like opening herself up to listen, like, you have to risk getting hurt, risk getting fucked over, risk getting whatever money stuff. And I know it's probably all a risk, but it's like, you have to take it to move forward.
It's all risk. Life is a risk.
Life is a risk. Life is a risk.
The other side of failure is, I don't know, a lesson
or
not failure. I don't.
Right,
I don't know.
and then it's
like,
like,
unless you just don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the other. I was gonna say success, but then I stopped myself because I'm like, I think I talked about this in my last episode with Savannah, where it's like, what is success anyway? To me, sometimes success is just doing the thing I was afraid to do. Just the doing of it.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to like succeed at it. It's just the fact that I did it. That was a success for me. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I had an affirmation that was like, as long as I am a tiny bit better in whatever aspect than I was yesterday, then I'm reaching my own definition of success. Exactly. It's a result. It's not a goal. It's whatever you define it to be.
Yes. Totally agree. So this was actually something I wanted to ask you, and on this topic, like, are you talking about your friends as a community, or do you mean you're like musician peoples. Not that they're not your friends,
but it's a mixture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of my friends from back home. You know, it's
home as in
Chester.
okay.
And then
I'm like, wait.
some some people who are adjacent to the music industry and are like, yo, this is great. Here's the space to practice or you know, or it's just
people that are helping you out kind of thing.
Literally, it just
cool.
They see the vision,
like
they
that.
see what's happening, and they're like, hey, I have this, maybe you need it, maybe you don't. You know, or people like you who want to collaborate and you know, those are just different ways. They lead to different things.
I love that.
You never know what it leads to. But yes, the people that want to be involved, the people that are there, those are mostly the people that, you know, approach me, the ones that are like, hey, I want to be here.
Okay, that makes makes sense as to like why you were so like open to this idea. Like I was shocked, honestly.
Really?
I was.
I don't know. I don't know how people are, to be honest with you. I really don't.
I guess I don't either. But like I think for so long, like I always thought people were like me. But then I found like out that a lot of people are not like me. Like a lot of people are not as open. A lot of people are not as trusting. A lot of people are not as like. People are more shy. People don't really like taking risks. People kind of just like to keep to themselves. I kind of have found, and kind of like just, but so that's why like I never know what I'm gonna get when like I reach out to people, like, and just like for those who are listening, like we followed each other on Instagram the night of your show. And I don't know, I just like, she's cool. Like, she's so cool. Like, but like, I already knew that because your music is so cool. Like, your music is very, very deep. Talk about deep. Your music is like so deep. And then the way you sing it and articulate it, it's like you're having just like this whole experience. Like when watching you, seriously, it's amazing. And then I just like messaged you and just like, hey, you should come on my podcast.
I am so down, yo. I just want to connect with the livers, yo. And I really do put that up to God, yo. I'm just like, please bring me people in my circle that just,
I love that.
And it's just one of those things, you know? Like, law of attraction. I believe in that shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I totally like get what that means, but like, yeah, I do think there's something to that.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yes. No, I thought that was just so cool, and I was like, oh, you know, again, like, you know, and then I'm like, well, I don't know you. I didn't know you. I don't know you. I still don't really know you. But like, I'm like, she could just be like, yeah, totally. Like, we should do this, and then like it comes down to it, and then you're like, oh, sorry, you know, like, so I really didn't know what to expect at all, and I was like, I'm gonna plan for this to happen. It's gonna be amazing if it happens. And then I was like this morning, like doing my grounding stuff, whatever it's called. I'm not gonna try to sound more spiritual than I am. Like I was just like, I'm just gonna say like grounding work is like not that serious, but it's like I was just like,
do your thing, sister.
Just like whatever, doing my thing. And then I'm just like thinking, I'm like, okay, she's gonna come, right? And I'm like, what if she doesn't? Like I'm just like overthinking this whole thing, and I'm like, okay. And it's like this weird thing, like I get like this with photography because I'm a photographer. I don't know if you know that, but I'm a photographer. And I get like this with that where I'm like, what if this person just doesn't show up? And then I'm like, well, you know what? Then it'll be a weight lifted off of my shoulders or something. And then and then I'm like, wait, no. This is what I like to do. I want this to happen. And so I kind of like, I guess kind of was like manifesting it. Like just this morning, I'm just like, no, she's gonna come over and we're gonna do this and it's gonna be amazing. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like you were probably like on the train already. Like, and I was just like
it's so funny how we just go through our different things.
Seriously, it's so crazy. But yeah, it just really like blessed my heart that you were so willing, excited, and it just felt very fun and natural.
Yeah, it felt like something that was supposed to happen, to be honest with you. And especially when I saw the name of your podcast, like I really didn't even have to look at it. I'm like, thanks God, you know what I mean?
Whoa,
type shit. Seriously.
That's so cool.
Yeah, seriously.
Whoa.
Sometimes it's really that easy, you know? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, like you said, I guess like for you, yeah, like that would be like the law of attraction thing where you're like,
yeah, I mean,
this is like who I am. And then something's kind of just like gravitating towards me that aligns with
what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, there's a thing too. I feel like people can't, you're more so closed off to opportunities when you're not, I don't know, when you don't know what you want to do. And I'm not saying that I know completely what I
Sure.
want to do, but I do have interests in certain things. And you know, and I'll talk to God about it. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about a podcast. I'm thinking about doing this, you know, and God finds ways to just kind of like, So I'm like,
Yes.
is this my podcast though? All right, maybe we start after this. You know what I mean?
That's so cool.
So yeah, that's just how I look at life, really.
Yeah. And then yeah, like doing this, it could like spark that in you again. You know what I mean? Like I think that happens to me a lot too, where like something I want to do or whatever, and then like you just like have a conversation with someone, or you just see a thing, or and you're just like it just like wells up in you again. You're like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And whatever. And if you don't, you don't. It's fine. But like,
yeah, in time.
Yeah, totally. But you had started when you said your podcast.
Yeah, me and my friend from school. I'm not a friend from school. We grew up together.
Oh, cool.
One
Okay.
of my best friends. Yeah, we did it for a little while, and then he got off and got married, and now he's having a baby.
Oh yeah, so that whole thing, right. That's a big thing, yeah.
Yeah. I tried to beg him to start it up again. He's like, nah.
Yeah, that
ship is sailed.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, bro.
Dang. Would you do it by yourself?
I'm thinking about it.
Just
because
do a
truly,
few
yeah,
episodes.
like truly, because like there are just things that I want to talk about that I really just feel like
Period.
people aren't like, you know, like Simone, I don't know where you're going with this, so you're just gonna have to fucking do it.
Just
say
do
it.
it.
Like,
just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I like I said earlier before we started recording, like when I'm recording by myself, I feel insane. Like you're gonna feel probably insane, but it's like awesome. It just feels I feel like you have that vibe. Like it just makes sense. I don't know, and you're just talking and talking, but you're just fine about it.
Right, it's like a flow of consciousness almost.
So bizarre.
I want to too. Like the thing is like with podcasts and things like that. Like I'll have such a great time while I'm here, and then when I leave is when I'll start like, oh my god, maybe I shouldn't have.
I can tell that you're like that. I actually can tell. I feel like I can tell that you like. Are you an overthinker a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I get the vibe.
When like people reach out, like I'm like, God, is this fine? Because like,
yeah,
I can't.
Totally. So you and God are pretty tight. I feel like.
Yeah, that's my unka.
I really admire people who like they just talk to God all the time. Like, but it doesn't have to be this like I'm on my knees.
Right.
It's just like you're on the train. You're like, all right, God, like, what are we gonna do? Like on this train, like, I think that's so cool. I love that. It's like so personal and like, yeah.
It's almost rebellious. It's deep.
Yes.
It's like deep and vulnerable, and I always feel like the thing is like it's hard for me to bring up in regular conversations because I remember from the other side hearing someone just talk about God like all the time or in the same sentence or that God did all that. I'm like, you really mean all that? Like, stop, like, chill out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And of course, I think about being that person, but like, no, dead ass.
Yes,
but like dead ass.
Like really right.
You know, and I'm not trying to like sell you anything. I swear, take your money. Like,
yes,
believe or don't. I don't know.
No, yeah, I think
life is your choice.
Yeah, I think that's like finally like where I'm at. I think for so long, because it was so like, I was so like involved in the church and like, do you know like the word legalistic? It's like basically just like abiding by the law of like the Bible and just like rule following. And like I feel like I was so
obedient.
Yeah, so much of like a rule follower that it just like took the personableness. I don't know what word I'm using, but like out of it. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like me. Like I'm so personable. Why can't I be like that with God? My God. Why can't I be like that with him and his people? And you know, so I'm just like, I feel like I'm like finally like experiencing it in that way that I've always wanted it, which is really cool. But like you said, it feels rebellious. It feels like quote unquote wrong or like from the view of other, you know, Christians that I grew up with, whatever. I'm sure they think I'm like off the hinge or whatever, you know, but I'm like, no, like this is right for me. This is where I know I need to be.
Yeah, this is me just paying attention to what's around, you know.
Literally.
Just literally paying attention. No one's
actually
paying for me. Kind of thing.
I love that.
Yeah, you know. This is the reason why distraction is so valuable. You pay attention to you can literally see the face of God.
Wow.
Look up.
Ooh. Yo, no, seriously. On that note, bro, how we both were like, social media break. Okay. So, you posted something on your little note thing on Instagram like a week ago. It's like, I think it's time for a social media break. I was like, girl, same.
Yo, I want a flip phone. I'm not even gonna hold you.
But then also hilarious that we were both still on social media. So, dude, I talked about this in my last episode, so I don't want to like overdo it. But I was just going through a few days of just like major like doom scrolling, just social media anxiety, like bad. And when you posted that, I was like at my like peak. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's not like that's my sign, but I was like, yeah. However, I do love social media.
Honestly,
you know,
as a creator, how can you hate it? You know,
yeah.
it's
So
like a balance.
that's
a
the
balance.
hard part about it. So I'm like, okay. And this is where, like, you know, I usually get so extreme with things. I'm like, you don't always have to be so extreme.
I just I can throw my shit out the window.
Right. I'm like, you don't have to be so extreme. So I just was like, all I need to do is be more conscious, be more aware, and just like when I start feeling anxious on the app, get off of it. Just put the phone down. Like, it doesn't have to be this, like, I'm deactivating my account.
I know. Every time, like, I'm saying goodbye.
Like, I'm going off the grid. Goodbye. You'll never see me again.
That's how it feels, though, because it's, like, so much. It's, like, literally, like, weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months of being like, yo, this social media shit is whack, right? You get to a point where you're just like, I can't do it anymore. I'm gone. And every status is no more. Text me. I'm not here. Like,
like write me. Like,
send me emails. Like,
literally.
Bro,
and I'm like,
smoke signals only.
Like, bro, like, it doesn't have, like, something that doesn't have to be that deep is that. Like, it's not that deep. Like, as I feel like if you catch it early enough, you can just like, okay, I need to find the balance again. I know. It's
use this horror as a crutch. I did, and like it was the last like year and a half of my life. Relationships.
Yeah.
So this was a crutch,
Yeah.
and now like I'll just sit here and like.
No, I know.
And I'm not even. I don't. It's not that It's not that I'm like. I interact with people, of course, but it's just like it's not like I'm doing anything other than like. This is what's.
It's what's here.
It's just what's here.
It's just what we do. It's just what people do.
And it doesn't matter what you curate your shit to, because I don't follow any of the like pop shit. It's all like work hard, motivation. You're not doing enough, and it's like now I get all those messages while I'm scrolling on social media. Like fuck.
I'm like, oh, like I'm getting all of the encouraging things, but like now they're just making me feel horrible about myself and my life, dude. On my photography Instagram, I think I followed you on it, but you maybe didn't realize it was me. But dude, seeing other photographers work and like all the shit that they do and how hard they work and all the things they post, I'm like, I'm the worst photographer in the world.
Nah.
I was like, ooh, this is not good for me. Like, I can't keep seeing all this stuff and then I'm just gonna feel so horrible about myself. Like, it's so bizarre.
Comparison is such a fucking weirdo.
It's so bizarre. Who's a weirdo?
Comparison?
Yeah.
It's also the thief of joy.
Yes, it is. And it's so true, dude. Like, do you get like that with music? Like musicians or anything like that?
I really, really try not to. And because I really want to be in an honest space. So when I'm feeling like jealous or envious or whatever it is, like I have to walk towards that, because there's no part of me that wants to be like, because you're talented. No, absolutely not.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's like this one photographer that like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like she's just like perfect. Like, and I just have this like crazy jealousy thing, and I'm like, no, like she's so talented, she's beautiful, she's talented, like that's amazing. I'm like, I don't want it to be this like you said, like this, like, ugh.
Yeah. I learned to transmute it, jealousy, into inspiration.
Yeah.
So I call it, like, when I see someone who's like, oh, maybe I have an issue with me speaking on the mic. So anybody that can sit here and talk to a crowd, I'm like, you're so much better than me. And, you know, but I try that, I'm like, you know, I look for the inspiration in that, you know, and I try to really just, like, what is it about their performance that, you know, maybe I can translate into my own, you know what I mean? So it's all, like, I try to really learn from those negative emotions, because I don't want to be hating as bitch out here at all.
I really don't either. I'm like, ew, like, that's so icky.
But they're
like,
real feelings. It's a real feeling. It's a real feeling.
Yeah,
so
I need to figure out what to do with it. Wilmer's always like, are you on that girl's page? Why do you always stare at her stuff? Like, why are you looking at her stuff if it just makes you feel like a certain way? I'm like, I don't know. I just can't stop.
I understand, though. I get it. It's like, what is it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. And it's like, I don't know, for me, it's always like specific people. It's not usually like just anyone. It's like, it has to be like something specific about someone that I'm like, ooh, why am I so intimidated by that thing about that person or whatever?
You see for yourself. You know?
Maybe. Yeah, there's a few things I can think of actually, but I'm not gonna say it. But.
Okay. Put it in your journal.
Put it in my journal. Do you journal?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Journal a lot, but poems.
Yeah. All right, quips, things like that. When it comes to mine, I'm trying now, like towards the end of the year, and as the weather gets shitty, to just like be introspective and
that's good.
All that stuff.
I love that. Yeah, I was writing poems for a time. I haven't read some, like, I feel like I just think in poems, like my like I just how I think. It's really bizarre.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it is actually. I like it a lot. But then sometimes I'm like, I'm like, do I have to do something with it? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I understand.
I have to, I guess. Like, sometimes I'll write it down in my notes, but then it's just my notes. Nobody's ever seen them, or I have so many poems nobody has ever seen, you know. And I'm like, that's fine, right?
Yeah. Maybe you never know.
I know.
Together, right?
Yeah.
Did you make these? You like words, right?
My vision board. Yeah.
See, words are dope.
I made that on New Year's Eve. That's like how I wanted to go into the new year. I was like, I'm just making a vision board. Like, I really want my year to be very intentional, which is like different from the year prior where I was like out drinking and, you know, so it's like I feel like those moments when I want something to mean something, it's like, it's very, you know, it's powerful, and it's like, okay, this means something. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, it holds inherent value to you.
Definitely. Yeah. Oops. I don't journal a lot. Like, I find it I don't know. I guess again with like the whole like extreme thing, or I don't know. I just like I always end up putting myself in a box. I'm trying to make a box with my hands, but or like thoughts in a box. Or I'm like, okay, journaling can only be X. Like, I always end up thinking that. I'm like, okay, poems can only be written X way, or this can, and then I'm like, it's like my mind sometimes gets trapped into like a way of thinking, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I can expand that. And journaling can be doodling. Yeah. Journaling can be like just writing a word. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I guess like journaling lately has been like doodling, or just like words, not like dear diary.
Right. You know right. Like, today I was so upset. Yeah.
Because to me that feels overwhelming to have to like
parse through regurgitate
my whole like day or something. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I was doing that for a little while, and that stressed me out. I was like sitting there just analyzing, like, why am I always sad? Yeah. Why am I always like thinking about? But this was when I was in a relationship, and like my journals are just like, well, today me and such did this, me and this, you know. And my goodness. I'm like, why is my life just this relationship? I am supposed to be in music. Yeah. What am I doing? You know. Right. I mean, I guess it helped in that way, but since then, you know, I've tried to just like write stories. I got
That's
a book that
cool.
has prompts, you know, just like keep
Oh
it
yeah.
out of like always. I'm always thinking about emotions. I'm always thinking about feelings.
Yeah.
Always. I just don't want to all the time. I
I
want to make
know.
some shit up.
Yes. Yes.
It's all so heavy.
That's so funny. I feel like I said that recently. Where I was like, I should write like a story, but I don't. I don't think I ever have. I don't know if I ever will.
What's the story?
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to like that shit. You know, when we get the writing prompts in English class,
Oh
you
my
know, in like
gosh,
2
yeah.
weeks we'd have to write like a 6-page
So
story.
true.
Loved those.
I do like writing too. Like anytime I've like, I actually went to college for the first time when I was 29,
Love that.
and all of like the writing classes, even like history classes where I had to write papers, I like loved it.
Mhm.
I actually loved it. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I actually really like writing. But then now I don't find myself doing it. Like I feel like I was only doing it because I like had like an assignment to do.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, I don't do it just to do it. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's not like, yeah, just like making it a little habit. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, but I'm working on it.
That's okay. There's so many things to do.
So many.
You'll get to it.
So many things.
You'll get to
all of
it.
the things.
There's so many things. You want to know something I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna
Okay.
sing.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Like sing in front of a small crowd.
Okay. What are you gonna sing?
I don't know. I want to do it, and I'm gonna. I'm not that good at singing, but I'm not bad.
Yeah, it's an instrument. You just keep doing it.
Yeah, it's like not that deep.
Yeah. Exactly. It helps. It helps in certain situations.
Some things are not that deep, I guess we're finding. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how. I'm like, I see it happening like, oh,
It's my
your phone. I see it happening like me like living in another state one day, like somewhere far away. I don't know.
Away from.
I'm writing a story right now.
Judgments.
Probably. Right? I'm just like, I don't know anyone, and I just like find a guitar player or something or a piano player, and we're just like, let's just do this, and then we just like go to like cafe, and it's like maybe it's not where like people are watching you. Maybe it's like you're like in the corner at a restaurant.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like background music or something.
Are you talking about doing a gig? Like
I don't know.
Gigging?
I have no idea. I'm just like, I know it's gonna happen. I don't know how. I don't know.
Open mic. Just.
You think that's a good start?
Just throwing that word out there. Yeah. Open mic. Yeah. My thing is stand-up comedy.
Wait, do you like?
I want to do stand-up.
You do?
Yeah.
No way.
Yo, yes.
Bro,
I do so bad.
I love comedy.
I hope
So much.
I love to laugh.
Bro. No, wait, okay. No, like I want to do improv.
I had signed up for a freaking class. I had to cancel so many times because I had
Dang.
gigs and stuff.
Yeah,
but
no,
same,
that's
literally
like
same.
that's one of my things too. That's like on the list. I'm like, okay, improv, singing. What else? I don't know. Maybe like pottery. Like I maybe want to make
That's a good one.
something.
I'm starting rock climbing.
That's fun. I thought of that.
Ballet course on Saturday.
That's
teach
cool.
me how to do the harness and shit. So
Oh, okay.
that's cool.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, things cost money, of course, so that's the only like bummer.
Yeah.
But we'll make it happen.
Yeah, little by little.
Yeah.
Little by little. Keep living life. Keep enjoying life.
Period.
You know?
Yeah, girl. Love it. I feel like this was great.
Yeah, me too. This was fun.
This was amazing. I loved it.
Oh,
I feel like, yeah, I feel like we talked about everything that there was. Like I told you, like it's just a flow. Like there's no like outline or anything, but like there was a few things in my head that I wanted to talk about, and I think I got to them all, and I'm really happy about that.
I'm so glad you had me here. This is fun. You're awesome.
Yeah, no, you're awesome.
Your space is great.
Thank you. Isn't it so cute?
Yes,
I love my tiny little
we should
space.
do a pottery class together.
Seriously, yeah. I'd be down.
I'm so down. So down.
Cool, girl. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for my matcha.
Of course, I hope it's good.
No, it is, yeah. What kind of milk? Was it regular milk?
I just asked for an iced matcha.
You just said iced matcha? Yeah. I don't care. I don't have any, like, weird things.
Yeah, I was gonna
just curious.
ask, but then I was like,
Nah,
you.
I would've told you.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, she would have said unsweetened.
totally.
She'd have said, you know, something.
No, I appreciate it so much. I was like, wait, I'm the one that should be having stuff for you because you're going to my apartment, and then you're like,
Right.
what do you want? And I'm like, no, I really appreciate it, and I really hope a lot of people watch this because it's great.
It's wonderful, yeah.
Okay.
Watch this. Yeah.
Do you want to tell people where they can follow you?
Yeah, I am on socials at Love Rae Simone. I have a couple songs out on Spotify. Songs that she heard in person aren't out yet, but in due time. But follow me there. I'm Rae Simone on pretty much everything else. So, yeah.
The best. See you guys. Ta-ta.